Hey there, my name is Bill Marion and this is A Nose for Life. A few weeks ago, we released a video about Dolly Sods, a 17,000-acre wilderness in Monongahela National Forest in West Virginia. It's located in Grant, Randolph, and Tucker counties, and it's a part of the Wilderness Preservation System. It's located atop the highest plateau east of the Mississippi River with elevations ranging from 2,500 to over 4,700 feet. Dolly Sods is characterized by weather typically found much farther north in Canada. And this hiking trip began with cool weather and a wonderful breeze, but by the time we were finished, well, it was warmer than usual on top of this plateau. I'm taking you on a pretty serious hiking trip into Dolly Sods, and you're going to enjoy some amazing scenery. So be sure to watch this video all the way to the end. Now, before we begin, if you watched our last video, you might be wondering about the grandbaby Carolyn and I are expecting. Well, the baby was due a couple of days ago, but it decided to, well, I guess sleep in. I'm not really sure, but it looks like they're going to induce this coming Thursday, which means I had time for one more hike and one more video. So here we are. Now, if you're familiar with Dolly Sods, you might find this useful, or if you're like me and when you're watching videos like this, you want to know a little more about the geography. Dolly Sods is located about 2 hours from Harrisonburg, Virginia, or Interstate 81. It's about an hour from Elkins, West Virginia, or a little less than an hour from Petersburg, West Virginia. This whole region is an outdoor adventure paradise, and it's rich with history. Specifically, our hiking adventure begins at Bear Rocks Trailhead at 7:30 a.m., give or take, and then we're all over the place trying to capture as much as we can about this amazing wilderness area. We're recording this video in July, and from all accounts, this is the warmest part of the summer at Dolly Sods. It was windy and cool when we arrived. We even packed sweaters just in case. It can frost here any time of year, but trust me, that didn't end up being a concern at all. It wasn't even as windy as usual. Now, I'm mentioning this because if you're planning a trip to Dolly Sods, the weather we're experiencing on this hiking trip isn't exactly normal. It rains and snows a lot here, so you want to be prepared. Also, keep in mind that the two forest roads that lead to Dolly Sods, Forest Road 19 and 75, are gated roads, and they're closed to vehicle access from January to April. Joining me on my hiking adventure today is Billy McDaniel. His grandparents used to bring him here to Dolly Sods to pick huckleberries when he was a kid, so he knows a little bit about the area. More on Dolly Sods huckleberries later in the video. Trust me, you don't want to miss that. It's kind of amazing. I've never seen so many berries in one location. I'm talking about billions of huckleberries. And what's not to love about hiking on a trail through amazing red spruce trees that lead to open fields and even more trails through more spruce trees? This forest is extremely clean. We only saw 2 pieces of litter the entire time we were hiking. All of your senses are forced to engage. Obviously, it's beautiful. And I don't know how else to say this, but it smells like you're walking through the perfume section of a department store in the best possible way. No, that's not exactly poetic, but that's the way it seems. Different fragrances fill the air with something different hitting your nose every so many feet. And the sounds of birds and other animals never stop. Speaking of animals, while hiking Dolly Sods, you might encounter the snowshoe hare, which is usually found in places like Canada and Alaska, and right here in Dolly Sods. There are beaver and beaver ponds, red and gray foxes, bobcats, black bears, groundhogs, timber rattlers, wild turkeys, and grouse. We saw a white-tailed deer, but it was too shy for the camera. Currently, West Virginia Department of Natural Resources is considering reintroducing elk to Dolly Sods, and I'm asking what's the holdup? Elk are awesome, and this is a perfect place for elk. So let's make that happen, people. Regardless, this is a fantastic place to hike. Hiking Hiking here at Dolly Sods is a little more serious than some of the places Carolyn and I visit for a few reasons. First, it's a remote wilderness area. Second, you're going to get wet while hiking here. The trails are muddy, and it's not like you can go to higher ground to escape the water. Water and mud is the normal you have to expect. The trails aren't marked, and we only saw 2 other people hiking during our entire hike, and the 2 people we saw were on another trail in the far distance. So we didn't actually see anyone on the trails we were hiking.
Here we are at Dolly Sods on Red River. I can't remember if it's a creek or a river, just to be completely honest with you, but it really is red, and it's cold. Like, I just got in the water for a minute. Okay, I'll be honest, I fell in the water. Let's just be real here. I fell in the water, so yeah. But anyway, the water's actually very cold. You're at 4,000 feet of elevation. Most of Dolly Sods is around 4,000 feet, give or take. So yeah, the water's cold. It's a beautiful day here in July, but a lot of insects. I mean, it's a wetland, so of course, lots of insects. You're in a swamp, a lot of the times, lots of mud. But hey, when you get to the creek, it's cold, it's beautiful. This is my 3rd video that I've made at Dolly Sods this year, but that's how much we love it.
Included in Dolly Sods' biodiversity and health is the amazing assortment of lichen. You might not know this, I know I didn't, but you can determine an area's air quality by studying lichen. And here at Dolly Sods, there's lots of lichen to study. In fact, as far as I can tell, scientists have been studying the lichen here at Dolly Sods for the past 50 years. Researchers can determine what's in the air by studying lichen. It's interesting that lichen tend to disappear as air quality decreases. Well, here at Dolly Sods, the air quality must be amazing because of the amount of reindeer lichen. Okay, if you're an expert in this area, I realize it's more complicated than that. So yes, the air quality at Dolly Sods isn't perfect exactly, and research is ongoing. Anyway, undisturbed lichen can spread across the ground like a coral reef across the ocean floor. On this hiking trip, we unintentionally disturbed this small area while trying to get to another area. And just a word of warning about walking uphill in ankle-high lichen, it doubles your work. Not that you would ever intentionally walk uphill in a field of lichen, but if you're ever thinking about it, it's not the best idea for you or the lichen. Still, I have to admit, hiking through this lichen was such an interesting experience that it forced me to do a little surface-level Google research about it, and I learned a thing or two. For example, lichen is incredibly flammable. Do you remember my video about graveyard fields on the Blue Ridge Parkway in North Carolina? The similarities between Dolly Sods and graveyard fields are incredible. If you want to join me down the rabbit hole of insanity, watch my video about graveyard fields by clicking the tab in the corner of your screen now, and then watch all the videos we've made about Dolly Sods. I'm not saying it's a conspiracy or anything, I'm just saying the evolving official story is kind of strange, especially when you compare graveyard fields to Dolly Sods.
Here at Dolly Sods, huckleberries are a part of a complete and balanced nutritious breakfast. Seriously, huckleberries are everywhere up here. Today I'm up here with Billy McDaniel. He is serving as kind of our guide today. He's been up here since he was a kid. He knows all kinds of stuff about Dolly Sods.
As I mentioned earlier, Billy McDaniel joined me on this hike. His grandparents used to bring him to Dolly Sods to pick huckleberries when he was a kid. And it turns out this is a really big deal. Dolly Sods is famous for berries: huckleberries, blueberries, cranberries, blackberries, just to name a few. And let me get this out of the way. It's perfectly legal to pick these berries, and locals have been picking berries in this wilderness for a very long time. I'm not exaggerating. There are thousands of acres of berries. Every so many yards you can stop and grab a handful of berries for a unique free snack provided by God himself. These berries taste better than anything you can buy in the store, imagine that. They're sweeter and the texture is outstanding. If you're planning a trip to Dolly Sods, this is something to keep in mind. We've learned that June is a great time to see some of the prettiest wildflowers and blooms, but in July, it's berry season. I'm still new to Dolly Sods, but I'm thinking that there's something unique and special about every month of the year in this amazing wilderness. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. It helps our channel tremendously when you leave a comment, and we always try to respond. Be sure to hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed. My name is Bill Marion, and this is A Nose for Life. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, then you'll love these videos too, so give them a try.